when it comes to being vulnerable with your sexual past, for instance, it's not your first date you tell somebody your body counts. No. How many position? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like, what will that do for you? What do you need my body count for? Ask yourself, what is the relevance of this information? If it's a case of, okay, you know what, and I've had an abortion in the past and it affected my womb, tell them. But you're okay, there's no problem, then they might not need that information. You're not trying to hide anything from them, but you're just saying, I don't think we're there yet. Yes. So. Hi!
Welcome to another episode of Ask the Oludapos series. Okay.
So today we have another question. Let's have it.
Is transparency really enough in dating?
Enough for what exactly?
Exactly. You know, I'm trying to understand what the question truly is. Is the person asking that, is it really necessary or compulsory for you to be transparent, and to what extent do you need that transparency? You know, must the person know everything about you, or you have another perspective to the question?
Or could the person be saying, is transparency the most important thing, or all you need?
Like if you're transparent, if you're transparent with each other in dating, does that mean that relationship would be successful?
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm trying to understand.
Anyways, we'll probably try and answer different assumption of the question, and hopefully one fits into what you want to see. So, should you want me to start? You can go ahead.
Okay. Is transparency important in dating? In any relationship, transparency is important.
Yes.
It is important, especially one where there's a commitment. You know, you're in a dating relationship, you're committed to each other. It's just rightly so, you have to be transparent with each other. Yeah. But there is transparency, but there has to be boundaries in place.
Yeah.
There has to be boundaries in place, right?
Before we even talk about the boundaries, let me talk a bit about the transparency.
Okay.
Someone's wondering, transparency sounds like a big word. What am I talking about? If I'm going to enter a committed relationship with somebody, then it's important. You want to know the person. That's what transparency is. Is, am I hiding things from you? Am I hiding myself from you? If you truly love somebody, then one important element you must share with the person is that openness and that vulnerability, where you're not one thing to them, whereas you're something else to somebody else. You know, I watched a video on YouTube where literally when he's with his guys, he's literally saying, man, that babe, I'm going to get her and everything. But when he's with the babe, he's, you know, quoting scriptures and everything, meaning is somebody else. Yeah, it's two-faced. So transparency is you being honest and open, you know, who you are, where you are from, what you do, what you earn, your mistakes. I've seen people that they don't have an education, but because they want to win the person, they lie about it. Transparency is just you being open, letting the person see you for who you are. There's a Bible language they put it, and they use the text where it said, Adam and Eve were both naked and not ashamed. You know, that's what transparency is. So, like my wife, so I'll let her just continue what she's trying to say from there.
Before I continue, do you think transparency is vulnerability?
Vulnerability helps you be transparent. Because vulnerability is your ability to open up yourself, even though what we find inside might not necessarily be admirable or beautiful. So that's what vulnerability is. So vulnerability is an important trait to have if you're going to be transparent. But transparency is just like, I don't have any transparent in here, but transparency means you can see through. You know, there's no opaque, there's no dullness. Nothing is hidden. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that because I think I've heard someone, you know, say, oh, they're synonyms. Like they're the same thing, almost the same thing. But yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So I was talking about transparency and how that in a dating relationship, especially since that's the context we are answering this question, transparency is important, like I said, for any and every relationship to work. But for a dating relationship, there have to be boundaries in place.
Yeah.
There needs to be boundaries in place. And what do I mean by that? It is not everything about your past, your present, your future, you're going to share with your dating partner. And dating is in stages. Do you understand? You've been dating for 6 months, and this person has your ATM PIN, has access to your account, has access to. It's very dangerous. It's dangerous, right? So you have to guard yourself as well. So there are different stages to right in the dating relationship. So you have to put boundaries in place to not hurt yourself. And
absolutely. Just ask yourself, are we at the level of relationship where this information is necessary? Do I know this person enough to give them my ATM PIN or my password for them to know everything about me? Yes, there's some important knowledge that is important. There's some information that is important to grow up. Let's say, for instance, health condition that might influence the relationship is not something you tell somebody on your first date. Maybe it's more of fifth dates question. I don't know how it works, but it's just gauge yourself. Are we at that level of commitment? Has this person shown enough interest and steadiness for me to tell them this? There's some things definitely you should tell someone before. Let's say, for instance, you're in debt. Let's say you're owing like 5 million naira. That's also something you tell someone after you get married to them.
Exactly. It's also not a first date question.
But it's also not a first date question,
So let's say third date, you cannot say, okay, well, by the way, this.
I think another thing, and funny enough, I learned this from my wife, is you can be vulnerable. You can be transparent in stages.
Yes.
There's some things you can tell.
I had an analogy in my head, or a better way to explain it. So a dating relationship is like a journey. Let's say, for example, I plan on touring Europe, and I'm going with 5 different boxes for 5 different, will I say countries, right? I'm touring, and I'm unpacking each box for each destination. That's how dating is. So this is the first stage. This is the box I'm unpacking. This is the second stage. Now, a level of trust has been built. It's time to unpack the second box. Right. So I think that's the best analogy that comes to mind.
And let me give an example to it. When it comes to being vulnerable with your sexual past, for instance, it's not your first date you tell somebody your body counts. No. It's maybe after 3-4 dates, and they're asking, oh, what are your past been like? Oh, you know what? I've had relationships where we didn't really maintain boundaries. Stop at that.
Yeah. And you don't have to go into details.
You get when they start asking you, what did you do? Did you what? Maybe now when you know that the person is serious with you, the person really wants to take the relationship to the next level, then you can let them know, okay, you know what? We did things that we're not proud of, and this was how far it went. But you don't need. I've seen people people that are looking for gory details. Did you guys? How many position? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like, what will that do for you? What do you need my body count for? Except maybe it's a case where, like, really ask yourself, what is the relevance of this information with this person? You don't want a case where you tell somebody something so much, now it becomes a stumbling block. If it's a case of, okay, you know what, I've had an abortion in the past and it affected my womb, tell them. But you're okay, there's no problem, then they might not need that information. You're not trying to hide anything from them, but you're just saying, I don't think we're there yet.
Yes.
So the same thing with finance, oh, I'm in debt, I've not been the best with money, Then later on, I'm owing some money. Okay, I'm owing this amount of money. So something you can actually do in batches and stages. So
yeah, we hope this answers your question and gives you clarity on how to handle your relationship, transparency in your relationship.
Sorry, let me say this. This is why it is important. You want people to get to know you apart from some details.
Yes.
For instance, you tell somebody in your first dates you're owing $20,000. It's possible that was something that happened in your past before. Now you know better, and so get them to know you first, know who you are. By the time they see you, now they can even put some of those your past in perspective. When I met my wife, for instance, just like, you know what, this is, I used to do this. Because I'd come to know her, I've seen her love for God, I've seen the transformation. It wasn't a big deal to me. But imagine that was the first thing she tells them, like, man, this is a party girl, she's she's for the streets, Of course, not that bad, but people are now wondering, oh my God, you. So we want to give them a chance to know you first, apart from that information. So take it in stages. Yeah. All right, so.
Yeah, if you have questions that you'd like us to answer, we'll stick a link in the description section. So be sure to check it out and ask your question, and we'll be here to answer you. So, and do not forget to like this video, subscribe, turn on your post notification, and share.
All right. So you see you on the next one.
Toodles.
Bye.